Good morning, students. Here we are again with a new chapter in English 2, and that is a game of hopscotch. I hope that you have received the question and answers in the form of the PDF and you have already written it in your copy. In case you have not, then it's time that you should, okay? And don't wait for the last minute to do it. Fine. So here we will be starting the next chapter, that is chapter 12, a game of hopscotch. And this chapter is written by Swapna Datta. As if you turn the page on 118, you will find that this is an extract which is taken from, it is adapted from or taken from the book called Tinku at Dulyatal. Fine. Okay, we will start the chapter and first we will see the characters of the story. So the characters which we will find in the story are Tinku, Millie, the dog Shadow, and the cousin Paro. Fine. So these are the four main characters of the story. So Tinku is a little girl. The main character is Tinku. She is the main one. Okay. Tinku is a little girl who lives in a remote cottage in Dulyatal. The story is based in a place called Dulyatal. Okay. Dulyatal is the name of the place where the story is based. Fine. And with whom she lives? So Tinku lives with her parents. First, her parents and her cousin Paro. And Paro is her cousin. So Tinku lives with her parents and her cousin Paro. One day, while wandering across the hills, she meets Miri. So one day, Tinku is wandering across the hills. She is moving around in the hill, and she's wandering means means doing something, not being productive about something, just like randomly walking, strolling. Okay, so she was just wandering around the hills, and she meets a girl called Miri, a girl of her age. So, just like the other students of your class, so they were also of the same age, and Shadow, her dog. So Miri had a dog called Shadow, and Tinku met Miri in the hillside. They talk and play together for some time till Miri leaves when she hears her father's horse trotting up the road. So first as normally children do when they meet other children, they talk, they play, they tell about their interests and hobbies. So in the same way, Tinku, when she met Miri, they talked about their common interests, they played together and so on till Miri leaves. So what happened that they were playing, but in between, Miri just stopped playing and she left. And why she left? Because she heard her father's horse trotting up the hills. So she heard means Miri heard that her father is coming, so she must rush back home. A few days later, Miri helps Tinku's aunts find their way back to the cottage. So after some days, what happens that Miri, the girl, she helped Tinku's aunts. So Tinku's aunts were coming to her house on the hill, but they probably didn't know the way. So Miri knew the way to her house, and she helped her aunts, means Tinku's aunts, to reach to the house, but leaves before they actually reach it. So Miri is strange. Miri is there, but again she leaves, and she's not there also. So Tinku is sad that she could not meet her friend. So Tinku is very sad that she could not meet Miri when Miri came to reach her aunts to Tinku's house. A few months pass before the two meet again. So the next time when Tinku and Miri meet, already a few months have passed. When Tinku is alone at home with Paro, and when they meet, when Tinku is alone at home with Paro, which is her cousin, it means that Tinku's parents are not there. Now, as we go along the story, children, you will see that the name of the character is written and a few lines are written there. So it's kind of a dialogue based story which we are going to read. Tinku pulls a tissue while sneezing. So You have seen a tissue box, right? So when you need a tissue, you have to pull out the tissue from there. So Tinku is basically, she is sick, and that's why she needs tissues to wipe her nose. This awful cold, she doesn't like the cold. Awful means something bad. How long will I be stuck indoors because of this? So Tinku says this, that she hates this cold, she doesn't like the cold, and how long she is going to be inside the house without going outside, without being able to play, without being able to do anything. So she is sad, she says it to herself. She looks outside the window. So where she's sitting, she could see the window, and she looked outside the window. It is raining and a thick mist is swirling over the hills. So what's the weather like at that time? It's raining. It's a rainy day. It's a rainy weather, and a mist is swirling over the hills, like something foggy, something dense, which doesn't allow you to see clearly. Okay, that is something which we can say it as mist. Suddenly she hears a voice from behind. So while she's sitting there sneezing and not feeling that great, not well, she hears a voice from behind. Try some eucalyptus oil. Daddy says it's good for cold. So this is the voice of Miri. Okay, Miri says that why don't you try some eucalyptus oil? So children, what is eucalyptus? Eucalyptus is a tree, and we get oil from that tree, and that oil is very beneficial. It's organic. It's very good for health and good for cold. So for these purposes we use eucalyptus tree oil. So Mary's voice came and she says that why don't you try some eucalyptus oil? Maybe you will feel better when you apply that oil around your nose and neck and chest. Daddy says, Miri is saying this, that my father says that it's very good. Tinku jumps in surprise. Suddenly, if you are just sitting alone in your room and you hear a random voice, like you did not hear the door open, you did not hear anyone enter, you did not hear a hi, a hello, nothing, and just a voice came to you, won't you be shocked or surprised? So in the same way, she was also very surprised when she heard the voice. She had not heard anyone come in. So as I said, that Tinku was just sitting there and she had not heard anyone come inside. She turns around quickly to see a figure in an old-fashioned raincoat. She turns around, like when she hears the voice, she turns around because the voice was coming from the behind, from back. So she turns around and she sees that Miri is standing there wearing a raincoat. A little dog stands by the figure wagging its tail, and if Miri is there, so her dog is definitely going to be there, because dogs are so loyal and they follow you everywhere, right? So that dog is also standing close to Miri. Tinku is so excited after seeing her. Miri, and Shadow too. How nice of you to come and see me. I was wondering where you were all these days. So as I said, that months had passed before they met this time, right? After several months they are meeting. So Tinku is very excited, and she might be feeling lonely, and since nobody is there at home, her parents are not there, only Paru, her cousin, is there. So she might be feeling a bit lonely, and maybe she would have felt that it would be better if someone was there near her during this time. So she is very happy to see Miri and Shadow. Miri says, I was laid up with fever. So laid up means that she was sick. She was sick in bed with fever. She was suffering from fever. So we are moving on to the next page, page number 116. Shadow curls up before the electric heater while Miri takes off her raincoat. So what happens that when Miri came, she was wearing a raincoat, and we know that it's raining outside. So Tinku takes the coat from Miri, and while they are doing this, Shadow goes and sits in like as dogs sit. No, you must have seen on the streets also, when it is so cold that dogs curl up and sit, right? So Shadow also curled up in front of the heater, and we know that how much we love heater in the winters and when it's cold. Miri looks at the carpet. So Miri sees the carpet and she says something. My shoes are a little muddy, and Shadow has left muddy paw marks all over the place. I'm so sorry. I hope your parents won't be cross. So Miri is a bit concerned because since it's raining and it's when it rains, the roads and the ways, the paths, they get muddy, right? If the roads are not made, and since they are living in the hills, we can understand that why it is so muddy. So Miri says that her shoes were a bit muddy, and that the dog's paws were also muddy, and the carpet has now become very dirty because of their dirty shoes. And I hope that your parents wouldn't be cross. So she says that I hope that they will not be annoyed, they won't be angry at this behavior. Tinku says, don't worry about that, I'll clean it before my parents return. So Tinku says that don't worry about my parents, I will clean this before they reach back. They've gone to Nainital, haven't they? So then she says that, oh, your parents are not home, but they have gone to Nainital, isn't it? Now just imagine, children, how we do not know that how Mary knows so much about Tinku, even though they are meeting after so many months, right? So, but then again, she says that they have gone to Nainital, like so, with certainty, with assurance that yes, they have gone to Nainital. So, we will see that what the story is like and how it unfolds. Tengu is surprised, like absolutely in shock that what? How do you know that my parents are in Nainital? So she asks, how did you know? Miri, oh, I must have heard someone mention it while walking downhill. So then Miri says that I think that I have heard someone talk about this, that your parents are not here, when I was going downhill. When I was coming uphill and somebody was going downhill, that time I heard them talk about that your parents are not at home. Now see, the background of the story is written here in this italics. It is quite dark outside. So while this entire conversation is going on, the scene outside is, it's not daytime, it's nighttime. So it's a bit dark. Mary pulls a dainty lace-edged handkerchief out of a pocket. So a handkerchief with lace around it, a very delicate and a very pretty handkerchief, right? And this handkerchief is laced, means there is a hint of eucalyptus smell. Eucalyptus smell can be seen in this handkerchief. Okay, so this handkerchief belongs to Mary. A strong smell of eucalyptus fills the place. So this oil, the special quality of this oil is it smells beautiful. It smells amazing, like and a bit minty and a bit clove-like smell, I guess. So in case you have never seen or like smelled a eucalyptus oil, so it somewhat smells like that. Miri says to Tinku, try smelling this, it will make you feel better. So Miri says, take my handkerchief, there is I have sprayed some eucalyptus oil in this, why don't you try smelling this? I think that you will feel better if you smell it. So Tinku, sniffing the handkerchief, Tinku takes the handkerchief and sniffs it, something like that, right? It does smell nice. Tinku feels nice after she smells it. But how did you get in, Mary? Now she is asking Mary that how did you get in? Paro always locks the door when Ma isn't here. Because how could you come inside when my cousin Paro, who I live with, who is here with me, means who is there in the house, she always locks the door when my parents are not there at home. Mary says she must have forgotten to close it today. Now Mary is telling her that maybe today she has forgotten to close it. Now looking around, she looks around. Who? Mary looks around. Just looks around the place and says, may I keep my ulster on that peg? It's quite wet. So what is a peg? Okay. Let me just draw a figure so that you can understand. So a structure like this. On this you can hang your clothes. You have seen this type of figure, right? Especially we put this on behind the door, or maybe on a wall somewhere, maybe in the bathroom, where we can hang our clothes for like in urgent situations, of like when we need to. So may I keep my ulster? And ulster means overcoat. So since the weather is cold and raining, so she is wearing an overcoat as well, and above that overcoat she had a raincoat. Fine. Okay. Then Tinku says curiously, like why she's curious, because ulster is a word which was used in the olden times. And in the modern time, when Tinku and Miri are there, the place where the story is based, in that time we normally say overcoat. We do not commonly use the word ulster, right? So Tinku is so curious. That's why she says, "What is an ulster?" She doesn't know the meaning of ulster. She has never heard of the word. Miri is surprised. Miri is surprised because Tinku doesn't know the meaning. My overcoat means, ulster means overcoat. Have you not heard the word before? So Miri says that, have you not heard? What is the meaning of ulster? Like, have you never heard? Tinku says, not really. Anyway, I must thank you for showing my aunts the way home that evening. You should have come in, you know. All of us would have enjoyed ourselves. So, that one time when Miri had helped Tinku's aunts find their way to Tinku's house, that day when Miri showed them the place, she left. She had not stayed back. But then again, it was a kind gesture of Miri to show them the house. So Tinku thanks her for doing that. Miri says, I am very sorry. My father would be very worried if I did not get home in the evening. He is afraid I may get lost. So now Miri says that why she was not able to stay back on that day. So the reason that she could not stay back was that she thought that her father will be very upset, okay, when she will not return home on time. So children, this is the half of the story which we have covered in this video. Since this video will be very long in case I explain the entire, so we will continue the rest of the story in the next video. That is the part 2, and that part 2 you will be able to see when it will be uploaded. Please go through the story. Please see any word which you are unable to understand, and keep it for later so that I may clear your doubts when we meet. Secondly, try to learn all the new words, that is those words which come in the exam for your word meanings, right? So please keep on studying. Don't get away from your books, because it will be too much for you to learn and take in at a time, right? So please keep on studying, keep on reading, develop this habit of reading. So fine, I'll just stop here for today and we will meet in the next video. Thank you.